Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper, Math P3, Variant 3, October-November 2020. Let's get started. A cruise ship travels 2,067 kilometers. Write 2,067 in words. Here is the number written in words. Write 2067 correct to the nearest hundred. The number in the hundreds position is 0. The number after 0, which is 6, is greater than 5. So we add 1 to 0, giving us 1. The numbers after 0 become 0. So 2067 becomes 2100, rounded to the nearest hundred. When full, the cruise ship carries 880 guests and 360 crew. Write the ratio. Guests is to crew in its simplest form. The ratio guests is to crew is 880 is to 360. The highest common factor of the two numbers is 40. When we divide through the ratio by 40, we get its simplest form to be 22 is to 9. There are 480 cabins on the ship. On one cruise, 456 of these cabins were used. Find the percentage of cabins that were used. This percentage is equal to the number of used cabins, which is 456, divided by the total number of cabins, which is 480, times 100%. This gives us 95%. Last year, the cost of a cruise was $4,600. This year, the cost of the same cruise is $4,784. Work out the percentage increase in the cost. The percentage increase is equal to the increase in the cost, which is $4,784 minus $4,600 divided by the initial cost, which is $4,600 times 100%. This gives us 4%. The cost of building the ship was $153 million. Write 153 million in standard form. To write this number in standard form, we move the decimal point from the end of the number to a position after the first non-zero digit, which is 1. So we have 1.53. Since we moved the decimal point 8 units to the left, we multiply 1.53 by 10 raised to the power 8. There are 480 cabins on the ship. There are 4 types of cabin: ocean view, balcony, interior, and suite. Hannah starts to draw a pie chart to show the numbers of each type of cabin. Show that there are 120 ocean view cabins on the ship. The number of ocean view cabins is equal to the sector angle for the ocean view cabins, which is 90 degrees divided by 360 degrees times the total number of cabins, which is 480. This gives us 120. The table shows information about each type of cabin. Complete the table. To get the sector angle for each cabin, we divide the number of cabin type by 480 and multiply by 360 degrees. So for the interior cabins, the sector angle is equal to 68 divided by 480 times 360 degrees, which is 51 degrees. And for the suite cabins, the sector angle is equal to 100 divided by 480 times 360 degrees, which is 75 degrees. Complete the pie chart. Using a protractor, we start by measuring the sector angle for the suite cabins, which is 75 degrees. The remaining sector angle, which is 51 degrees, would be for the interior cabins. Using numbers from 55 to 85, write down a multiple of 23. A multiple of 23 in the range is 69. 23 times 3 gives us 69. Write down a factor of 120. A factor of 120 in the range is 60. Write down a common multiple of 8 and 12. A common multiple of 8 and 12 in the range is 72. 8 times 9 is 72 and 12 times 6 is 72. Write down a number that is both square and odd. A number that is square and odd in the range is 81. Write down a number that has exactly two factors. A prime number or a number that has only two factors in the range is 59. Write 220 as the product of its prime factors. 220 can be written as 22 times 10. 22 can be written as 2 times 11. 2 and 11 are prime numbers, so we circle them. 10 can be written as 2 times 5. 2 and 5 are prime numbers, so we circle them. So 220 equals 2 times 2 times 5 times 11. We can leave this as our final answer, or since 2 appears twice, we can rewrite this as 2 squared times 5 times 11. Complete the table of values for y equals 1 plus 5x minus x squared. When we plug in x equals -1 into the equation, we get y equals -5. For x equals 2, we get y equals 7. And for x equals 4, we get y equals 5. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals 1 plus 5x minus x squared for x is greater than and equal to -1 and less than and equal to 5. On the grid, we plot all the points in the table and connect the points with a smooth line. On the grid, draw the line y equals 3. On the grid, we've drawn the line y equals 3, which is a horizontal line passing through 3 on the y-axis. Use your line to solve the equation 1 plus 5x minus x squared equals 3. In other words, we are asked to find the x values of the intersection points between the graph of y equals 1 plus 5x minus x squared and the line y equals 3. On the grid, we see that the x values of these points are 0.45 and 4.6. The diagram shows the plan of part of Rachel's garden. Calculate the area. First, we split the area of the garden into two rectangles, A1 and A2. A1 is 14.6 times 3.2 meters squared and A2 is 8.5 times 7.7 meters squared. When we type this into the calculator, we get 112.17 meters squared. Rachel has a pond in her garden in the shape of a circle. The circumference of the pond is 4.25 meters. Calculate the diameter of the pond. Give your answer in centimeters. Here is the formula for the circumference of a circle. When we make the diameter d the subject, this is what we get. We've been given the circumference of the pond to be 4.25 meters. Our final answer needs to be in centimeters. So we multiply 4.25 by 10 squared to convert it to centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 135 centimeters rounded to 3 significant figures. A plant pot is a cylinder with radius 15 centimeters and height 24 centimeters. Calculate the volume of the pot. Here is the formula for finding the volume of a cylinder. The radius r is 15 centimeters and the height h is 24 centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 17,000 centimeters cubed, rounded to 3 significant figures. The diagram shows two mathematically similar plant pots. The smaller pot has height 21.6 centimeters and diameter 27 centimeters. The larger pot has diameter 33 centimeters. Find the height h of the larger pot. Since the plots are mathematically similar, the ratio of their corresponding sides must be equal. When we make H the subject, this is what we get. When we type this into the calculator, we get 26.4 centimeters. A shop sells bags of compost in 3 different sizes. Work out which size of bag gives the best value. Show how you decide. First, we divide the amount of compost in each bag by the cost of the bag. From our results, we see that the medium bag has the highest amount of compost for every dollar. So this gives us the best value. The table shows the maximum power kilowatts and the time taken in seconds to accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour for each of 10 cars. Find the range of the times. The range of the times is equal to the highest time, which is 14.9 seconds, minus the lowest time, which is 7.1 seconds. This gives us 7.8 seconds. Find the median maximum power. First, we need to arrange the values of the maximum power in ascending order. To get the position of the median, we use the formula half n plus 1, where n in this case is 10. This gives us 5.5. This means the median is between the fifth and sixth numbers. The fifth number is 77 and the sixth number is 85. So the median is 77 plus 85 kilowatts divided by 2, which is equal to 81 kilowatts. Complete the scatter diagram. The first 8 points have been plotted for you. On the grid, we plot the points 90 11.0 and 110 9.4. What type of correlation is shown on the scatter diagram? On the scatter diagram, we see that as the maximum power increases, there is a general decrease in time. This type of correlation is negative. Describe the relationship between the maximum power of a car and the time taken to accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. The greater the maximum power of a car, the less time it takes for the car to accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Draw a line of best fit on the scatter diagram. On the scatter diagram, we've drawn a line of best fit. The general rule of thumb for drawing a line of best fit is to ensure that it passes through as many points as possible while balancing an equal number of points above and below the line. Another car has a maximum power of 63 kilowatts. Use your line of best fit to estimate the time taken for this car to accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. On the diagram, when we map 63 kilowatts from the horizontal axis onto the line of best fit, we get the time to be 12.9 seconds. Robert buys a car for $18,160. He pays a deposit of $6,460. He pays the rest of the money in 24 equal monthly payments. Work out the amount of each monthly payment. To get the remaining amount Robert has to pay, we subtract $6,460 from $18,160. This gives us $11,700. So now, to get his monthly payment, we divide $11,700 by 24. This gives us $487.5. A fuel tank holds 52 liters when full. The tank is a quarter full. Jim fills the tank with fuel that costs $2.18 per liter. Work out how much Jim pays. We know that the tank is a quarter full, so to get the amount required to fill the tank, we subtract 1/4 of 52 liters from 52 liters. This gives us 39 liters. So now, to get the amount Jim pays, we multiply $2.18 by 39. This gives us $85.02. On the grid, draw the image of triangle A after a translation by the vector 3, -7. For this translation, the translation vector dictates that we move each of the vertices of triangle A 3 units to the right and 7 units downwards. On the diagram, the movement for point C has been shown. After repeating the same process for points A and B as well, we are able to map out the translated image of triangle A. On the grid, draw the image of triangle A after a reflection in the line x equals 3. First, we draw the line of reflection, which is x equals 3. Then from here, we need to reflect the vertices of triangle A in the line x equals 3. So for point B on the triangle, since we move 1 unit to the right to touch the line of reflection, we also need to move 1 unit to the right from the line of reflection to pin the new position of point B. We need to repeat the same process for points A and C on the triangle as well. When we are done, we are able to map out the reflected image of triangle A. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. When we look at triangles A and its image triangle B, we can tell straight away that this is a rotation 90 degrees in the anti-clockwise direction. So now we need to identify the center of rotation. For a 90-degree rotation, the way to determine the center of rotation is this. We draw a line to connect at least 2 corresponding points on both triangles A and B. Then we need to draw the perpendicular bisectors of these lines. The intersection point of the bisectors is the center of rotation. In this case, the point is the origin. And so the full description for the transformation would be rotation 90 degrees anti-clockwise about the origin. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle C. When we look at triangles A and C, we can tell straight away that this is an enlargement by a scale factor of 3 because each of the sides of the image, which is triangle C, is 3 times its corresponding sides in triangle A. This is a positive scale factor because triangle C has the same orientation as triangle A. From here, all we need to do now is to find the center of enlargement. We can get this by connecting at least 2 corresponding points on both triangles. The intersection point of the lines is the center of enlargement. In this case, we get the center to be 4, 4. And so the full description for this transformation would be enlargement by a scale factor of 3 about the center 4, 4. Work out A plus B. Vector A is 3, -2 and vector B is 5, 7. To get the resulting vector, we add corresponding elements in the two vectors. So 3 plus 5 is 8. -2 plus 7 is 5. So we have 8, 5. Work out B minus 2C. Vector B is 5, 7 and vector C is -1, 4. When we expand the vector, 2 times -1 is -2. 2 times 4 is 8. So now we subtract the corresponding elements in the two vectors. So 5 minus -2 is 7. 7 minus 8 is -1. So we have 7, -1. Point P has coordinates 6, -2 and PQ equals -4, 5. Find the coordinate of point Q. For the x coordinate of point Q, we add -4 to the x coordinate of point P, which is 6. So 6 plus -4 is 2. For the y coordinate, we add 5 to the y coordinate of point P, which is -2. So -2 plus 5 is 3. So we have 2, 3. Find the value of W when A is 6 and C is 2. When we plug in the values of A and C into the given equation, this is what we have. When we type this into the calculator, we get 28. Factorize completely. 12b plus 8b squared. The terms have a common factor of 4b. When we factor out 4b, we are left with 3 plus 2b. Make m the subject of the formula. Y equals 4m minus p. When we add p to both sides of the equation, we get 4m equals y plus p. And when we divide both sides by 4, we have m equals y plus p over 4. Find the value of x when 5 raised to the power x times 5 cubed equals 5 raised to the power 12. Since these two are multiplying, their powers add, so we have 5 raised to the power x plus 3, which is equal to 5 raised to the power 12. Since the bases on both sides are equal, then their powers must also be equal. So we have x plus 3 equals 12. When we subtract 3 from both sides, we get x equals 9. Find the value of 3 raised to the power 0. Any number raised to the power 0 is 1, so 3 raised to the power 0 is 1. Find the value of 5 raised to the power negative 2. When we type this into the calculator, we get 0.04. In this part, all measurements are in centimeters. The diagram shows a kite with sides 2x plus 5 and 3x minus 1. The perimeter of the kite is 33 centimeters. Work out the length of a shorter side. We know the length of the shorter side is 3x minus 1. So now we need to find the value of x. The perimeter of the kite has been given as 33 centimeters, which is equal to 2 times 3x minus 1 plus 2 times 2x plus 5. When we expand the brackets, 2 times 3x is 6x, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, 2 times 2x is 4x, 2 times 5 is 10. When we group like terms, we get 10x equals 25. And when we divide both sides by 10, we get x equals 2.5. So now the length of the shorter side is 3 times 2.5 minus 1, which is equal to 6.5 centimeters. P and Q are points on the circle center O. APB is a tangent to the circle at P. Write down the mathematical name for the line PQ. Line PQ is a chord. A chord is a line that connects any 2 points on the circumference of the circle. Explain why angle OPB is 90 degrees. This is because the angle formed between a radius and the tangent is 90 degrees. Find the value of x. To get this angle, we subtract 53 degrees from 90 degrees, which gives us 37 degrees. Base angles in an isosceles triangle are equal. The sum of the angles in the triangle must add up to 180 degrees. So we have x plus 37 equals 180. When we make x the subject, we get x equals 106. The diagram shows 2 parallel lines and 2 straight lines. Find the value of A. Give a reason for your answer. These two are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are equal, so A is 48. Find the value of B. Give a reason for your answer. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So we have B plus 48 plus 65 equals 180. When we make B the subject, we get B equals 67. Find the value of C. These two are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are equal, so C equals 48 plus 67, which is equal to 115. Calculate the value of x. To get x, we apply SOHCAHTOA. This gives us tan 34 degrees equals 11.8 centimeters divided by x. When we make x the subject, this is what we get, which is equal to 17.5 centimeters rounded to 3 significant figures. A sequence of patterns is made using black counters and white counters. Draw pattern 4. Based on the previous patterns, the number of black counters in pattern 4 would be 10 and the number of white counters would be 16. Complete the table. The number of black counters keeps increasing by 2, so the number of black counters in pattern 4 would be 8 plus 2, which is 10, and the number of black counters in pattern 5 would be 10 plus 2, which is 12. The number of white counters are perfect squares, so the number of white counters in pattern 4 would be 4 squared, which is 16, and the number of white counters in pattern 5 would be 5 squared, which is 25. Write an expression in terms of n for the number of black counters in pattern n. Since the number of black counters increases by a constant value, we can use this formula to get the nth term. A1, which is the first term, is 4. D, which is the common difference, is 2. When we expand the brackets, 2 times n is 2n. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. When we group like terms, 4 minus 2 is 2, so we have 2n plus 2. Write an expression in terms of n for the number of white counters in pattern n. That will be n squared. Elena has 30 black counters and 140 white counters. Can she make pattern 12 using her counters? Explain your answer. The number of white counters in pattern 12 is 12 squared, which is 144. And the number of black counters in pattern 12 is 2 times 12 plus 2, which is 26. Based on this, our answer is no because she has fewer white counters than what will be required. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.